it might also be the last. I forget what you were talking about. That was in the beginning. It might also be the last.
The last of human being.
Yeah. You can't. It just doesn't work like that. The last. It might also be the end of humanity, the end of civilization. Instead of the last, I would say the end.
Yeah, I mean that the rest.
Or then you would maybe
feature of human.
It's finish the sentence. It might also be the last change that we make, the last time cultural phase or whatever you want to say. To finish the sentence. You said the drivers of car do not do anything. The driver. If they're hit by the car, the drivers of car do not do anything. Maybe the drivers are not responsible, or the drivers do not have to be punished. Another one, you said young team member. If you say team member in English, it sounds like maybe you're talking about sports or something. You can maybe just use the word coworker. If you want to really specify that they are on your team, you can use the word staff. They are my staff member. And you said, I cannot accept the decrease of the gap. Cannot accept the decrease of the gap. You're talking about the gap decreasing. I cannot accept the
decreased gap.
Decreased gap. Okay, that sounds better. Ari, we can see that companies. We're talking about when we look at these companies, we can see that companies. Maybe you want to say. You said we can see that companies. We can see that company. I wrote down. Maybe you want to say when we look at these companies, blah blah blah. Because you started your sentence. We can see that companies, and you followed it up with some back. When we look at these companies, we can see that the CEO. When we look at these companies, blah blah blah, want more females because people consume something related with IT. I was having a hard time understanding the point. You were talking about why the IT companies have female employees, but you really did not show how it was related. So maybe you want to say the reason. Why do the IT companies have more female? Is there a reason? I'm not sure. You said, is important in the world. This phrase, in the world, I noticed it's sometimes misused. Blah, blah, blah is important in the world. Maybe you want to say all around the world. This is important all around the world. This is important everywhere. If you just say in the world, it sounds kind of strange. And you said very human thing. We were talking about the boss did the letters, very human thing. Very genuine thing. Very you can say humane, but humane does not fit there. Humane means it is not cruel. It is a very human thing, we just don't say it like that. Humanity. In that situation, we would just say it was a very genuine, sincere, would maybe be a good word there, sincere. Sangro.
Yes.
It can be used to do some negative act. You were talking about AI. It can be used to do some negative act. It can be used for negative purposes. It can be used for harmful purposes. It can be used for evil. You could say that. Do not mistake again. I think you want to say do not make another mistake. Do not mess up again. It can't appear the industry growing rate. It can't appear the industry growing rate. I think when you were talking about the graph, maybe you just wanted to say it's a small sample size.
Yeah.
it can't portray the actual industry growth rate or something like that. It can't portray, it can't show. You would not say, when you're talking about a graph, you do not say, it can't appear. It can't show, it can't portray.
Yes. Okay.
Seijin, you said, let's read as native speaker as we can. Let's read as naturally as we can. You said people get happiness from the salary. I think it would sound a lot better if you want to say people can live comfortably from that salary, with that salary. If you really want to portray the happiness factor, you could say people can live comfortably, people can live easily with that salary. If you really want to talk about their happiness level, people do not get happiness so much. People can, that salary can make them happy. Or that salary they can live happily with that salary. And to raise up the minimum level of minimum wage, you do not need to use the word minimum twice. You can say to raise, and also to raise up, just raise. To raise the level of minimum wage, or just make it shorter and easy. To raise the minimum wage. To raise the minimum wage. Suyang, you say, I'm not think about this. I'm not think about this. I never thought about that. You can say, I didn't think about this, but it sounds even better. Oh, I never thought about that. I never really thought about that. You said snowdrops. We call them snowflakes. It is very simple and quite nice to me. This is another mistake I've noticed a lot of times. It is nice to me. If you say something is nice to me, a person is nice to me means they are friendly towards me. He's very nice to me. He's not a mean person. If you're talking about a thing or an object or a place, you do not say it is nice to me. It's very simple and quite nice. You can stop the sentence right there. Yeah, if something is nice to me, we only talk about that people are nice to me. An object or a place cannot be nice to me. You said it made critics. You cannot say like that. You can say there were many critics. It has many critics. In that situation, I forget what you were talking about, but maybe you can use the word controversial. It was very controversial. Pyongo. You don't hesitate to deny nuclear power plants. I think you're talking to us as people. You don't hesitate to deny nuclear power plants. You don't hesitate to deny. You guys don't have problems with nuclear power plants. You are okay with using nuclear power plants, so you should be okay with this also. You said, I'm studying very beginning. I'm studying very beginning. You can say, I'm just beginning to study, or you can say, I'm in the early stages of studying. And one more, you said we can make something more than that. We were talking about synergy. We can make something more than that. We can build something. We can grow together. We can make something better, but not we can make something more than that. The more than that part doesn't work. And what was the name one more time? Sean, that's right. You said after 2 years or 3 years later, make sure that you do not repeat after and later. After 2 or 3 years, or 2 or 3 years later. Not together. After 2 or 3 years later, it's just repetitive. And one more, you said he just give up his salary. He just give up his salary. He just gave up his salary. If you say someone gave up their salary, it sounds to me like they are still working there for free. Maybe you want to say he just quit his job. He just quit his job. He gave up his job.
You mentioned it last time.
Yeah.
Maybe he quit. Same. We stay. Okay.
Yeah, the word quit, you can quit a job. Also, I quit. You can use quit for many.
Then
I quit smoking
in this
cigarettes.
case, then we have to say to sacrifice.
Just gave up this
Yeah.
Then
Yeah, then price is
Then.
case.
income.
One more time.
Give up the income.
I mean, then
Then
price.
He just quit his job.
No. About he's saying about
Yeah.
then price is case.
This company's case,
Oh.
the CEO then price sacrifice his salary.
Well, he didn't sacrifice his salary because he's still making some money. You would use the word because it's a dramatic drop. He cut his salary. He made a drastic cut in his salary. How do they say in here?
If we say sacrifice or keep
He
going,
made a sacrifice. He sacrificed his high salary for a lower salary. If you just say he sacrificed his salary, that sounds to me like he gave it all away.
So that's why you say he sacrificed the high salary.
He sacrificed his high salary and then you would want to say for a lower salary. He sacrificed his high salary, or he sacrificed his wealth. If you say he sacrificed something, it sounds like he gave it up completely. When you sacrifice an animal, you kill it, you know? When you sacrifice something, it sounds like you are giving it away completely. So you want to say he sacrificed his high salary for a low salary. Any questions?
nope.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.